around 5 might blow your mind. It's that money is not the answer. And if you're having money trouble right now, it's super hard to believe that because you're like, no, legit money is the answer. I need money. I need money to pay bills, to make sure my kids are safe, to have insurance, to pay my mortgage, to be secure, right? But here's why money isn't actually the answer. Money will only amplify who you are. So where you're at is because of you. Where I was at when it was really low was because of me. And when I took radical responsibility and did everything I needed to do to get my financial freedom, that was me changing, right? And money didn't fix that. What fixed that was my decision to change my choices and change my behaviors. Because let me tell you something, if you struggle with consistency, money is not going to help you show up. If you struggle with what you eat and how you move, money can't walk the steps for you and it can't eat the food for you. I've been through every aspect of this and failed in my own way, only to learn why money wasn't the answer. And the first part of that is because it just has a limited scope in what it can do. I can't tell you how many people I know of extraordinary wealth who have intense personal tragedy in their lives. If money could fix everything, trust me, it would fix that. Money is also not able to buy your happiness, right? Now, it can buy a latte, it can buy a massage, it can buy things that help us feel better in the moment. But money itself is not going to be able to secure a friendship or the love of a child or the love of a spouse, right? It's limited in what it can do. Secondly, it's got diminishing returns. There's actually scientific data to show that indeed, if you are below a certain income level, if you are money insecure, then yeah, money plays a role in your happiness. But if you have food and shelter and clothing, and I want to say a few years ago, the study said $75,000 a year in the United States, additional money did not equal additional happiness. It did not equal additional health. It did not equal additional prosperity. So the diminishing returns of money is to be true to you. I've seen people with a lot of money really suffer because that has its own set of problems. I know that's hard to believe if you are someone who's struggling with money in the fact that you may lack it. But if you're someone who struggles because you have it, I see you. I get it. I've met so many people who are like, I lost my friends. I don't know who's my real friend. I don't know if people are approaching me just because they know I have money. And I just want to go back. I love being able to travel. I love being able to do this, but I miss being with people that I just truly love. And I know they love for me. Next is values and meaning. It cannot define who you are, right? I want you to be showing up in the world as who you are, as who you want to be every single day. And money's not about that. Money's not about not choosing to hurt someone. Money's not about being an exceptional listener or a great leader or a totally resilient business person, right? So you are who you are independent of that. And that's your asset. Nobody can take that from you. Next is health and well-being. It can contribute to getting better health care, but it can't cure you from an incurable disease, right? So it's not really, I think a lot of us think, man, if I had all the money in the world, my family would never suffer. And that's not true. It feels like it should be true, but it's not true. Next is it makes relationships complex. I referred to that just a minute ago. It may attract false friends. It may create a weird power relationship, right? Like if you are a multimillionaire and you have a friend who's in trouble with money and you guys go out to a nice meal, you're always going to pay for that meal. And eventually that starts to feel weird, right? So relationship complexities, marriage complexities, right? Like, are they with me for me? What happens if we divorce? Are they going to take half my big fortune? It messes people up. And next is external circumstances. You know, life is really complex and it gives us lots of challenges. There can be a natural disaster. There can be grief out of nowhere. And coping with these are really not about the money that you might have because money can't take you back in time before the hurricane or before the heart attack or before the injury or before the Bell's palsy, right? It is what it is. And so money can sometimes seem like the answer, but in fact, what is the answer? And we know if you're listening to me, the answer is resilience. The answer is that you are so resilient in your grief, in your agony, in your struggle, in your pain, you rise. You are so resilient in your business that in your failure, in your challenge, in your struggle, in your loss, you learn, and it's your secret weapon. Resilience in your relationships. When you've been betrayed, while you've been hurt, that you remain loving, that you don't become bitter because you are resilient. That is the foundation that you need. And then the best news of all is that that's when the money starts to flow. When you realize it's just a tool, it's just a singular tool. And in fact, it's a bit of a game how to get it or not get it. I know tons of people who have it that you would think, how in the world? And I know tons of people that don't, that you would think, how in the world? It's all between your ears, my friend. And resilience is your secret weapon. I hope this has been helpful tonight. If you are struggling with money, I want to send you love and support because, sister, brother, I have been there. I'm not teaching you or preaching to you about concepts that I read in a book. I'm sharing with you my life. I have been, as my friend Colleen Nichols says, broke as a joke. And I get it. I get, like, when you're out on a drive and you're thinking, we can't stop for lunch. We have to get home because we don't have money for lunch. I get it. And you've probably worked really hard too. So it's frustrating. So for you, I now know money is a focus, but I'm promising you, if you release that stress and focus on your goals, that's going to be what gets you to the money that you need, for the peace that you need, for the freedom that you need, when you can focus and be resilient and be positive and take action with no desperation. See, when we're desperate in business, when we're looking for commission, when we're trying to sell something, when we're telling people, you got to get this, I'm trying to reach a goal, that's commission breath, right? People feel that and they draw away. When we're simply educating and sharing and being open and, hey, this is something I love that worked for me. If it works for you, great. If you have questions, let me know. That's when the magic starts to happen. So in fact, money isn't just not the answer. It might be the problem. So I hope tonight's been helpful. I can't wait to see you back here tomorrow.